Okay, I've been up all night, but I had to catch the as soon as possible Mandalorian. So I'm a little tired, and I figured I'd get this out there. Um, so it was the season finale, and so I guess I'll go through what was bad about it, and then it's saved by something very, very significant and big and very special. And so yeah, the same problems as always. There are flaws within Mandalorian, even despite the fact that I like it. It's an enjoyable show. It's fun, and all of that. And but it's got its flaws in it, and sometimes they get a bit repetitive. The main thing is, and of course, this has almost become the red shirts of Star Wars, was the stormtroopers. They can't shoot straight, and they really come across ridiculous in Mandalorian. It's just too much scenes where they're just fodder. Just about anybody can wipe them out. I mean, R2D2 could do it. They're no good. And then there's this big scene once again, the girl power scenes in here, because it's called the rescue. So they're gonna, they join together to go rescue poor little Grogu, formerly Baby Yoda. So it's expected and all of that. But so there's a girl power scene where it's mostly the ladies. They before they make the rescue mission, Mandalorian and Boba Fett go and recruit Bo-Katan Raton and her gal pal. So now you've got 4 Mandalorians to go in, and there's a confrontation with Boba because they don't consider him a real Mandalorian. He's just a clone, which is rather nasty, and they start up a fight with the guy. I would have thought it would have been more along the lines that he was, a sleazy bounty hunter, and they thought that was disrespectful with his context with, criminal organizations like Jabba the Hutt. But then Mando kind of did the same job. Maybe not for Jabba, but still. But it's all for the scene of him to get in a fight with I forget her name, Bo-Katan Raton's sidekick, and of course she beats him. All that. Of course, he's an old man now, so it's not that much of a challenge. And then, of course, they go. Gina Carano and Fennec join the team, and then the 4 girls end up battling the stormtroopers, and they just mop the floor up with them, even when they have a few problems. Cara Dune's gun jams and this sort of thing. But then it's it's just too easy to defeat them. So when you have your heroes, and they're supposed to be heroes, and there's a challenge and the stakes are high, you need your villain to be capable. And so it's a problem. And, once in a while, a few lucky shots here and there, fine, but good Lord, every last one of them. And so then, of course, Moff Gideon says, I'll activate the Dark Troopers, which are, they're just robots. But it takes a long time to activate them. So then Mandalorian, he's up against the Dark Troopers by himself, and at the last minute he's able to shut the door on them, but one of them gets through, and there's a big fight there, and it's kind of funny the way that it just keeps hitting him and smashing his helmet and all this stuff. But it turns out, and I see they show this lever on the door, and I'm like, oh, don't tell me. And yes, it's just a quick little latch that'll release the outer door into outer space, and it sucks all the Dark Troopers out. Maybe you should have had them in a more secure room. Unless, of course, that was a fail-safe for themselves in case for some reason the Dark Troopers were reprogrammed to turn on them and they could dump them into space. But later on, turns out it's a little harder than that to kill off Dark Troopers because they can fly. They can fly? Yeah, they can fly. And so they fly back into the ship, and the attack is on. Even though they get the better of Moff Gideon, he has the dark saber, which Bo-Katan Raton wants because Bo-Katan Raton. What? You know who it is. Katie Sackhoff. She wants the Darksaber to be the rightful Queen of Mandalore, I guess. And which I'm thinking there was one of the theories that Moff Gideon might have been a Mandalorian, and maybe they'll explore that further. They don't conclusively determine that now, but he sure knows an awful lot about Mandalore and, of course, the Darksaber. So with the what is it, the Vesker armor and the spear, Mandalorian's able to fight with him because the lightsabers can't cut through it. And ultimately he wins, but there's a catch. It turns out the only way to take the saber, you got to win it in combat. Well, Mandalorian did, and so now he can't just give it to Katie. She's got to kill him for it because she doesn't really want to, and it leaves them at quite the mess. Then the Dark Troopers show up, and they're trapped inside the bridge of the Imperial cruiser. And here they come, and it's kind of reminiscent of the Phantom Menace when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan were attacking the Trade Federation guys, and they had locked off their bridge, but they were slowly getting through until the droids show up and run them off. But and they're heavily outgunned and armed. They won't be able to stand up against them, and it's looking like it's pretty much over for them. And then suddenly an X-Wing fighter shows up. Gee, I wonder who that could be. Of course, Baby Yoda made contact with the Force and sent out his distress call for Jedi on the Seeing Stone, and so a Jedi would answer that call. But boy, how many Jedi are left? I wonder which Jedi it could be. And of course, this is the sweet spot, the good stuff, and of course, it's glorious. Spoiler: it's Luke Skywalker. He shows up. He wipes out the Dark Troopers. They are absolutely no match for a Jedi. And another thing that it's reminiscent of, and I caught this immediately. It has to have been intentional. The sweet spot of Rogue One was, of course, at the end when Darth Vader took out the rebel soldiers very easily and almost captures the plans, but Princess Leia makes her get away with it. And well, in a lot of ways, that's what this is with Luke, just wiping out the troopers. And some of this was like, how advanced would Luke's powers grow beyond Return of the Jedi? And I would think quite a bit. And that's what we missed out on in seeing him demonstrate that in the sequel trilogy. We didn't get to see, super powerful Luke and then that sort of thing. And all of that, in the writers are just too lazy and unimaginative to know how to handle a character like that in a lot of ways. And even admitted it. So he sucked up all the oxygen in the room and all this sort of nonsense. Well, it probably a little too late, and I still hold that ultimately Star Wars can't be saved, or rather restored to its greatness, but something good could come out of the world that it is, and could grow out of it. But so it's kind of sad, look what we could have had, in what we see here. But it just goes to show that if only Favreau had been approached instead of J.J. Abrams and the like, it would have been a different story. So, yes, Luke shows up, he wipes them all out, and he approaches, and Mandalorian, are you a Jedi? He doesn't know who he is, of course. He says, yes, I am. And he's here for little Grogu, and he, going to help train him. It's just the only way for him to be safe and all that, and he'll take care of him and all that. And, of course, it's very sad, and you get this pretty powerful scene there with what they've been through together, and Mando's got to say goodbye to Grogu, and Grogu doesn't want to go, but he knows he has to, and Luke tells him, you've got to tell him it's okay to come with me, and so he does. He takes off his helmet, so he can see each other, and Grogu can see his face and touch him and all that, and it's all very tear-jerking and sad. And off he goes to Luke with the Force. He knows who or what Luke is in any way, and R2-D2 shows up to beep a lot. And that's that. Luke takes him, and off he goes to, I guess, be his apprentice, at least the first of many, and or Padawan at this point. And off they go, and well, that's the end. It's all very sad, and oh no, is that it for Grogu? His Mandalorian story over and all that. Yeah, the credits roll, and then there's a teaser. Hey, where'd Boba Fett go? Well, he did something that I thought would make a cool story, in that should he survive the pit, and with Jabba the Hutt dead, his criminal organization seems like it would be in disarray, and that Boba Fett could be the one that would survive and take it over. And that's exactly what he appears to do here, not in a roundabout way. What's left of the old Jabba the Hutt crew is still there, but he wipes that out. And I guess he's going to become a crime boss on Tatooine. So, yeah, there you go. And they give you this is like a teaser for his own series, which apparently will be called The Book of Boba Fett. So there you go. He's going to make a name for himself, since he's kind of unwanted by everybody, including the Mandalorian. So as for Mandalorian himself, there's been rumors that Pascal is out, and they would even continue on with Boba Fett or a new Mandalorian. But Pascal says it's nonsense. He was not wanting to leave the show or anything like that, and he poured water on the rumors and whatnot. Because it would be a shame, because we only got a little bit of teases and inklings of his story. I mean, it's he's supposed to be the star of the show, and so it would be great to continue on in a third season where it is about him and his backstory, which we saw where he was a child during the Clone Wars and stuff like that. Meanwhile, there is that scientist that was working on it. He is revealed to be a clone tech in this story, and he's around. And why is he a clone tech, since it's been revealed that Grogu is not a clone of Yoda? He's just of the same species. But are they attempting to clone from his blood? They want his blood. They keep mentioning about it. And at first I thought it had something to do with the clone troopers, but they're just droids. So there's still that worry that connects with the sequel trilogy. I'd rather they just forget all about the sequel trilogy. But the aspect of cloning and whatnot being an element of Star Wars stands to reason. It's established. Clone Wars, after all. And so that technology is still there, and the desire to use it, and what appears to be here is to manipulate it in the hopes that they think they can manipulate the Force into cloned people that they can somehow control. Of course, they wouldn't be, but they don't know that, do they? So, of course, it was great to see Luke Skywalker restored to glory and all that cool stuff. He looked a little off in the digital work, and I'm not sure quite how they did it. At first I thought, did they get Sebastian Stan to go in there? Because I'm the school that thought that he would be a good replacement for other stories of the further adventures of Luke in his younger days, and in between Jedi and, well, whatever else. But apparently it's just Mark Hamill. The credits say Mark Hamill. It was obviously his voice, and perhaps it was a body double that they digitally grafted on his young face on there. Or maybe it was him himself standing there doing the lines, and they digitally did it. But yeah, it didn't quite look. That takes it's hit and miss with that. They're still not quite there with that type of technology. Of course, I mean, a lot of the deep fake stuff looks so good, but I guess it's just when it's the resolution and whatnot, it looks better than it does in high def or whatever. I don't know, but still, I don't care. I'll take it, and it was really nice, and quite a sweet early Christmas present from the production team of Mandalorian. And so there you go. Very nice. And we'll see where they go with this. Is it a sign that they're moving away from the failures of the sequel trilogy? I don't know, because Luke shows up. He's all powerful and stuff, and he's very impressive. And he's more powerful than the Luke from Return of the Jedi, but I would argue that makes sense. But he is also very much a Jedi at this point. But also there is the cloning story, this subplot, if you will, that Mandalorian alludes to and suggests that might also lead into, Snoke and all that sort of stuff. But, we'll see. And maybe they will do the World Between Worlds. Wipe it away and create reestablish the EU or something like that. Anyway, we'll see. But I can't help it. I was very happy to see this and enjoyed it. Yes, it has its flaws, but it's pretty much the best Star Wars has produced lately, other than Rogue One, and hell, even Solo's better than the sequel trilogies. But this is a pretty good high point, and a badly needed shot in the arm for Star Wars, and it did it. So there you go. Well done for everybody involved with Mandalorian, and I hope I didn't spoil it for you. But do check it out. It's good stuff. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.